Good morning. Second year BCom Computer Applications, third semester 3. Rdbms, important topics. Normalization, essay type question. In compulsory essay type question, normalization and normal forms, ER diagrams, ER model. So normalization అంటే ఏంటి, నార్మల్ ఫార్మ్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఈఆర్ మోడల్ అంటే ఏంటి, ఈఆర్ డయాగ్రామ్స్ అంటే ఏంటి, కంపల్సరీ ఎస్సే టైప్ క్వశ్చన్. సో what is normalization? Normalization means we discuss 4 normal forms: first, second, third and boys coded normal forms. They are also called as 1 NF, 2 NF and 3 NF, 3 NF and BCNF. So what is normalization? Normalization is a technique. Normalization is a process or technique that improves a database design by generating relations that are of higher normal forms. So the objective of normalization is generally to create relations where every dependency is on the key, the whole key and nothing but the key. So what is normalization? Normalization is a process or a technique which improves the performance of a database design, and by removing or by deleting various unwanted data or duplicate data for a better database performance. So generally normalization is a process or a step-by-step process which contains 4 normal forms. The first normal form is called as 1NF. So it is a sequence of normal forms. The first normal form is called as 1NF, second one normal form is called as 2NF, third normal form is called as 3NF, and last one is called as BCNF, boys coded normal form. So means whenever a relation or a table is said to be in third normal form, if and only if it is in second normal form, and if whenever a table is said to be in second normal form, whenever it is already in first normal form. So that whenever a relation is said to be BCNF, whenever it is in third normal form, second normal form and also in first normal form. So this is the procedure of sequence of doing normalization. So the process of doing normal forms or the process of applying normal forms is called as normalization. So this is the simple diagram. So a relation in BCNF is also in third normal form, and similarly a relation in third normal form, 3NF means third normal form, is said to be in first normal form, and a relation is said to be in second normal form is already exists in first normal form. So normalization, what is normalization? Definition of a normalization, and what are the benefits and what are the applications of applying normalization, and what are the different procedures or different steps to follow while doing normalizations, and what are normal forms. So the benefit of higher normal forms is the update semantics for the affected data and simplified. This means the applications required to maintain the database are simple. A design that has a lower normal form than another design has more redundancy. And first we introduce the concept of functional dependency. So మనము నార్మల్ ఫార్మ్స్ స్టార్ట్ చేసే ముందు మనం ఒక టర్మ్ తెలుసుకోవాలి. దట్ టర్మ్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as functional dependency. What is dependency and functional dependencies? So functional dependencies means we say that an attribute B, attribute and what is attribute? Attribute is some field or some column or some field in a table or a database. So we say an attribute B has a functional dependency on another attribute A if for any two records which have the same value of A, then the values for B in these two records must be in the same. Means it is written as A arrow B. Means what is the meaning of A arrow B? Means B is functionally dependent on A. Means example, suppose this is a simple example here. If you take employee table తీసుకుంటే ఎంప్లాయీ టేబుల్ ఏమిటంటే ఎంప్లాయీ నెంబర్, నేమ్, డిపార్ట్మెంట్ డిజిగ్నేషన్, శాలరీ అండ్ ఎంప్లాయీ అడ్రస్, ఎంప్లాయీ నెంబర్, ఎంప్లాయీ ఈమెయిల్ ఐడి ఇవన్నీ ఉంటాయి. సో ఇక్కడ మనం ఒక రిలేషన్ తీసుకుంటే ఎంప్లాయీ నెంబర్ ఈజ్ ప్యూర్లీ డిపెండెంట్ ఆన్ ఎంప్లాయీ నెంబర్ arrow ఎంప్లాయీ ఈమెయిల్ అడ్రస్. What is this meaning? Email address of the employee is purely dependent on employee number. అంటే మనకి without knowing the employee number we can't find out employee address of that employee, email ID or address of that employee. So address and email IDs are totally dependent on employee's number. So this is called as dependency. So functional dependencies. So this is the example of for functional dependencies: employee number, employee email ID, employee father name, employee first name and employee last name. Here, if employee number is the primary key, PK is primary key. Here, if the employee number is the primary key, what is the primary key? A primary key is set so that it should be unique. And it should doesn't have any duplicate values, and doesn't support any duplicate values, and doesn't support any null values or blank values. So if employee number is the primary key, then FDs okay, functional dependencies are. So employee email ID is totally dependent on employee number, and employee first name and employee last name are also dependent on employee numbers. Why? Because of dependency means without knowing employee number we can't find employee email ID, employee first name and employee last name. So that these three fields are totally dependent on employee number. So next, so here employee email ID, employee first name and employee last name are functionally dependent on employee number. So three different ways you might see FD means functional dependence depicted. So this is the diagram here. So this is the relation and this is the diagram of relation. So in the మనకి Rdbms లో మనకి కంపల్సరీ వచ్చే సెట్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్స్, కంపల్సరీ సెట్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటి మనకి కంపల్సరీ సెట్ ఆఫ్ క్వశ్చన్ ఈస్ ఫంక్షనల్ నార్మలైజేషన్, నార్మల్ ఫార్మ్. ఫస్ట్ కంపల్సరీ క్వశ్చన్ ఈస్ normalization and normal form. Second compulsory question is ER diagrams and ER models. So determinant, what is determinant? Functional dependency means employee email ID is totally dependent on employee number. Employee email ID is totally dependent on employee number. So employee number is a determinant of email ID. Employee number is a determinant of employee email. So there are other types of dependencies also there. Transitive dependency and partial dependency, like that. So we go start with first normal form. What are the different types of normal forms? First normal form, second normal form and third normal form. First normal form, second normal form and third normal form, and BCNF. First normal form, second, they are called as first normal form, second normal form, third normal form and BCNF. These are the four types of normal forms. So what is a normalization? Normalization, what is the definition of normalization? Normalization is a technique. Normalization is a technique or a process to optimize the performance of a database. So what is a normalization? Normalization is a technique or process to optimize the performance of the or working of a database. Generally, 4 different levels of databases or normal forms are there. We set the database at the highest level so that it works good. So what is first normal form? What is the definition of first normal form, and what is the explanation about that, and what are the examples taken like that? So first normal form, we say a relation. What is a relation? A relation is nothing but it is a some table or two tables connected with some common fields. So it is a logical representation of database. It is also called as a logical representation of a database is called as a relation. So what is a first normal form? Means 1NF. We say a relation is in first normal form 1NF if all values stored in the relation are single valued and atomic. So what is first normal form? A first normal form, a relation or a table. A relation or a table is said to be in first normal form if and only if first normal form or 1NF if and only if all values stored in the relation are single valued and automatic. What is single valued and automatic? So 1NF means first normal form places restrictions on the structure of relations. Values must be simple. So what are single valued and atomic? Means the first normal form explains about the structure of fields or columns. Means every field in a relation or a table, every field or a relation every field or relation in a table have similar type of data. Means what is the first normal form? What is the definition of first normal form? Every field or every column in a relation or a table have the similar data or similar type of data. That is called as and atomic and single valued means it should have only one value in that column or field. Means single value means there should not be not more than one field are supported. Means there should be one field in each and every column. There should be one field or one column or one value. Means there should be one value should accommodate in a field or a column. So this is the examples for taking first normal forms. So this is the following table is not in the first normal form. Why? So what is the table? Employee number, employee phone number, and employee degrees. So employee, here we take employee numbers 1 2 3 3 3 3 6 7 9. Employee phone numbers, some phone numbers, and some employee degrees or designations or qualifications. So the first record have no employee degrees, and the second employee have three records, three fields: BA, BSc, PhD, and the third employee have also two qualifications, BSc and MSc. So this so that it is not in the first normal form. So employee degree is a multi-valued field. So it is not a single value. Means employee number is a single value field. Means only one value is accommodated. Employee phone number is also single field. Why? Because it is in that field also only one value is there. Employee degrees field is not a single valued. It is a multi-valued field. Why? Because it have more than one field. So employee degrees is a multi-valued field. Employee 679 has 2 degrees, BSc and MSc. Employees 333 has 3 degrees, BA, BSc and PhD. So it is a multi-value field. So what is the solution for this problem? It means to update first normal form relations, we must, without loss of information, replace the above with two relations. So how to solve or how to convert this relation into a first normal form? Means to convert a table or a relation into a first normal form, we should take care of that there should be no loss of data or information. Without loss of data or information is exists. Means We simply convert this table into multiple tables. We simply convert this table into multiple tables or multiple forms. So like that, employees and employee degrees, employees and employee degree. So employee table have employee table have two columns, employee number and employee phone number. Employee table have two fields, employee number and employee phone number, and employees degree table have two fields again, employee number and employee degree. So here we split the given relation of the table into two subtables with a common field called employee phone number, with a common field called employee number, with a common field as called employee number. So an outer join between, there are different types of joins are used, outer join, inner join, and like that. So this is the solution for first for a table which is converted into a first normal form. So what is second normal form? Second normal form, what is the definition of a second normal form? So second normal form is a relation is said to be in second normal form or 2NF if it is in first normal form, and every non-key attribute is fully dependent on each candidate key. That is, we don't have any partial functional dependencies. So a relation is in second normal form if it is in first normal form. A relation is in second normal form if it is in first normal form, and every non-key attribute, key attribute and non-key attribute. What is key attribute? Key attribute means primary key. A primary key. Key attribute means primary key. Non-key attribute means other than primary keys. That is candidate keys. So non-key attribute is fully dependent on each candidate key. That is, we don't have any partial functional dependencies. Partial functional dependency means fully functional dependency. So second and third both involve the concept of key and non-key attributes. A key attribute is any attribute that is a part of a key. Any attribute that is not a key attribute is a non-key attribute. Means a key attribute means it is a primary key, and a non-key attribute means it is a dependent key. So relations that are not in BCNF have data redundancies. A relation in second normal form, a relation in second normal form or 2NF, a relation in second normal form or 2NF will not have any partial dependencies. So a relation in second normal form, a relation in second normal form or 2NF will not have any partial dependencies. There should not be any partial dependencies, then only it is said to be second normal form. Means it should contain fully partial dependencies, not partial dependencies. So this is the example for second normal form. This is a relation. Consider that invoice link table. So what is the invoice table? It is already in first normal form. So it contains invoice number and line number and product number, quantity, invoice date. So invoice number and line number are totally dependent on product number and quantity. There are two candidate keys. Q2Y is the non-key attribute and it is dependent on invoice number. So here invoice date is totally dependent on invoice number. So invoice number is the first key or first primary key. Similarly, product number and quantity have both dependent on invoice number and line number. So invoice number and line number are called as key values, or both are called as primary keys. Both are called as primary keys or key values. So there are two keys are primary keys, and remaining all the fields are non-keys. Non-keys means non-primary keys, like product number, quantity, and invoice date are. So since there is a determinant that is not a candidate key, invoice number is not BC enough. Invoice number INV line is only the in first line number. So we have to convert this relation or a table into a second normal form. So by splitting the given table or a relation into two equivalent to separate tables, by taking invoice details in one table and invoice numbers and quantity in another table, we can solve this problem. So the above relation has redundancies. What are redundancies? Means duplicate values. Redundancies means duplication of values or duplication of data or duplication of values. The invoice date is repeated on each and every line of invoice line. So we can improve the database by decomposing the relation into two relations. So first one is invoice table and second one is so this is one table. In one table we may take invoice number, line number and product number and quantity, and in another table we may take it as invoice number and invoice date. So this is the solution for to convert a table into a second normal form. So what is the second normal form? A table is said to be, or a relation is said to be in second normal form if and only if it should be in number one, it should be in first normal form, and second one, second point is all non-key values, all non-key or non-primary key, all non-key or non-primary key values should be dependent on key values or primary key values. So it is another example by taking employee department or employee table or employee relation, employee number, SSN number, birth date, address, department number and department name. So here since department number is not a candidate key and we have department name is totally dependent on department number. So third normal form. So what is a third normal form? A third normal form are 3NF. So a relation or a table is in 3NF or third normal form if the relation is in first normal form and all determinants of non-key attributes are candidate keys. That is for any functional dependency. That is for any functional dependency. That is for any functional dependency x arrow y, where y is a non-key attribute or a set of non-key attributes, x is a candidate key. So a relation is said to be in third normal form or in 3NF if the relation is in first normal form and all determinations of non-key attributes are candidate keys. Means a relation is said to be in third normal form if and only if it is already exists. It should be exist in second normal form as well as all non-key attributes are candidate keys. That is a functional dependency x is greater than y. X is x arrow y means where y is a candidate key attribute, x is a candidate key. So this definition of third normal form differs from DCNF only. So a relation is in third normal form will not have any transitive dependencies of non-key attributes on a candidate key through another non-key attribute. So example, this is the example for third normal form. So consider this employee relation. Candidate keys are, so employee number. What is the employee table or employee relation? Employee number, employee name, department number, department name. So here there are 4 fields: employee number, employee name, department number and department name. And department name is completely dependent on department number, and employee and all the, so employee number and department number and department name are non-key attributes. So these are the non-key attribute means non-primary keys. Employee number, department number and department name, all these are non-key attributes or candidate keys, means they purely dependent on employee number. So department number and department number determines department name. Department number determines department name and a non-key attribute, and department number is not a candidate key. Is the relation is in third normal form? No. Is the relation in BCNF? No. Is the relation in second form normal form? Yes. So how to convert this into a third normal form? So here we correct the situation by decomposing. Decomposing means splitting of the given relation or a table of the original relation into two third normal form relations. First one is, note that decomposition is lossless. Lossless means without any loss of data or information. Lossless means without any loss of data or information. So we can split the given relation into two separate parts by taking employee details in one table and department details in another table. Why? Because employee number and employee department number are purely dependent on employee number, and the department name is purely dependent on department number, so that we can split or decompose. The given relational table into two parts, are taken into two tables. One is employee table and second one is department table. So another important essay type question, compulsory essay type question in DBMS or Rdbms is a ER model and ER diagrams. ER model and ER diagrams. What is ER model and what is ER diagrams? And how to draw ER diagrams, and what are entity relationship model, or what are entity ER model, or what are entity relationship model, and what are ER diagram symbols, and what are different types of ER models, what are the different types of ER symbols, ER diagram symbols, and how to draw ER diagrams like that. So developing an ER diagram. So the process of database design is an interactive, iterative, rather than a linear or a sequential process. It usually begins with a generic narrative of the. So the basic ER model is graphically depicted and presented for use. The process is repeated until the end user and the designers agree that ER diagram is a fair representation of the organization. So ER diagram is a graphical representation. ER diagram is entity relationship. ER diagram is entity relationship is a graphical representation of the design of a. It is a tool. It is a tool to use it to draw some diagrams, or use it to represent the logic of a database by using some symbols, by using some drawings like that. So ER diagrams is a graphical representation of the logic of the database design. It is a tool. So this is the simple example for drawing or using some ER diagrams. So this is a example. This is the sample example for using ER diagrams or writing ER diagrams. Here we may use different symbols for different processes. So here we are using the different. This is the ER diagram for employee department. This is the ER diagram for employees table or employees relation. So employees table or employees relation have different relations, have different processes. And here we are using different symbols like employee table, department table, projects, dependent, and different processes like supervision, dependents, works for managers, works on like that. So here we are using different symbols: square symbol, diamond symbol. So square symbols are used for tables. Square symbols are used for tables, and whereas diamond symbols are used for different different processes. So here we are using two types of arrow keys. One is partial data flows, and we are also representing different types of relations, like one to one relation, one to many relation, many to one relation, many to many relations, like that. So square symbol is used for data sources or tables. Diamond symbols are used for various relations. Relations are used to join two or more tables. So generally square symbol is called as an event. Square symbols are called as events, and diamond symbols are called as relations. So ER modeling. So what is ER modeling? How to use it? We will discuss it.